Good morning again. I'll say that on this New Year's Day 2023, because even though it's probably near lunchtime for some people, I bet there's a few that are just getting out of bed. But yeah, as I get a move on today here for me, it's supposed to be in the 60s, so I'm going to go out and rake some leaves, chop those up, throw them in the garden, do some work on my bridge to the pond. Hey, I don't care it's January 1st. If the weather's halfway decent to be outside, that I can get something done, I'm going to take advantage of it. Anything I do now is less that I have to do come springtime. God knows we're all going to be busy in the spring. But on this New Year's Day, I want to propose something to you. As a prepper, as a citizen of the world, as a citizen of the United States, and I mean, God knows we all know that the world is completely going upside down everywhere. So, I mean, this could make a difference to you, whether you live in the United States or Australia or Ireland or Italy or whatever. But it's called fighting back. Okay. And I want to give you a quote from Henry David Thoreau. Okay. Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. Does that ring a bell as to what's going on right now? The governments of the world, who are doing everything they can to destroy our way of life, whether it's here in the States or Canada or Bolivia or Germany or wherever you live, okay, y'all can agree with me that collectively the politicians, the elites, okay, even the non-politician elites, are trying to destroy your way of life. Make things harder to afford, make things harder to do, make protecting yourself, whatever would be harder and harder and harder and harder. In other words, they're trying to make you slaves. They're trying to make you obedient. Like I said the other day, oh, I'm not worried about it. The government will take care of me. Well, when you finally succumb to that belief, you have now voluntarily given yourself to slavery. You've said, okay, I will be a slave to my government, and whatever the hell they say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. Okay. And whether that's the World Economic Forum, one world government, whether it's the socialist communists that we have running 3/4 of the countries in the world, whatever it would be. Okay. Human nature tells us we need to be disobedient when we see things wrong. And I'll give you some examples, okay? Real easy one in the United States. Let's go back to 1776 and let's talk about the Declaration of Independence, all right? All those people that signed the Declaration of Independence accepted the fact that they could be, that I mean, the punishment for signing that, for declaring that, was hanging, and yet they signed it anyway, okay? Let's take a look at the Underground Railroad, say in the during the Civil War, okay, and all the people that were helping slaves escape uh, the South and moving them up north, okay. There were people that were caught. They were fined. They were jailed. You know what they did when they paid their fine and they got out of jail? They went right back to helping free slaves, okay, because it was the right thing to do. Let's take a look at Martin Luther King's March on Selma, okay? That's probably one of the greatest examples of civil disobedience in the history of mankind. Let's talk about Rosa Parks, okay? Rosa Parks sat in the front row of the black section of a bus, and when a white man told her she had to move so he could sit there, she refused. Rosa Parks will forever be one of the big faces in the Civil Rights Act, okay? Let's look at burning draft cards in the 1960s, okay? Going to Vietnam and people saying, no, I'm not going for LBJ's war, okay? Could we see the same thing in 2022 with Biden's war? Chances are we might see a draft, okay? especially if we have a two-front war, especially if we wind up fighting in Ukraine like I think we're going to, especially if we have to do something in Taiwan like I think we're going to. Okay. These are all examples of when the people have had enough. For the longest time, I had said, contact your senators, vote them out, do whatever, let them know what's going on. And we have seen now in the last 2 years and 2 months or whatever, that doesn't work. Okay? And we can all agree on the reason it doesn't work. The mysterious suitcases that show up at 2 o'clock in the morning are a real good reason why it doesn't work. So our only option is disobedience. Now, I know a lot of people say, don't pay your taxes. Okay, ask Wesley Snipes how well that one worked out for him. Okay, I mean, even the aforementioned Henry David Thoreau tried not paying his taxes. They got him too. Okay, it doesn't matter even if you don't pay your taxes anymore anyway. The government doesn't care. They just print more money. Okay, they're going to spend, whoosh, just pull it out of thin air and, hey, we're going to go spend money. Okay. So civil disobedience, what can we do? And let's take a lesson from the groups that are trying to destroy the country. Okay, all the people that are, we've got to allow drag shows for children. They're out there vocalizing their support for that idiocy. Okay? Even if you take these mental midgets who are gluing their hands to paintings or breaking windows at car dealerships, or I saw one the other day where they were going up to gas stations and sticking screwdrivers into the credit card readers. Okay. Not that I agree with them or whatsoever they're doing, but they're actually doing something. Their beliefs are totally foobar, but at least they're doing something where the conservative side is not. I'm not talking go out and start punching people and doing violent things or whatever it is, but civil disobedience. Okay, this is it. You want to own a gun in New York? You want to own a gun in Chicago? You want to go own a gun in Boston? Go buy one. Screw them, okay? I don't give a rat's ass what Lori Lightfoot says or Kathy Hochul says or Eric Adams says or anything like that. Screw them. The federal government, the Second Amendment, the Constitution, the law of the land says you have a right to own a weapon. I don't care if they don't agree with it. What they're doing is unconstitutional. End of story. You don't have to parade around and say, look at me, look at me, look at me, but have one. Okay? You want to, you disagree with abortion? Go stand up and be one of the people that pickets in front of an abortion clinic and say, no, 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 this is not going to happen. Sure. Are there deals that you could wind up getting arrested or whatever? Yes. Okay. Though I don't think the punishment for it is going to be as significant as those that signed the Declaration of Independence. You aren't going to be sent to the gallows for holding a picket sign up in front of Planned Parenthood. Okay. I'm not saying go do property damage, like these idiots with the gas pumps that I was talking about, or sitting in a highway or something, doing something like that. No. But we need to start making our voice heard. Okay? How Thomas Jefferson put it, a little rebellion every once in a while is good for liberty. Okay? Yes. We need to start doing things rather than just talking about them, which the conservative side is much more apt to do. Obviously, our congressmen have no spine, all right, period. Effective tomorrow, technically, the Republicans will be in control of the House. Do we think they're going to do anything? No. They will tuck tail and do whatever Mitch McConnell wants, okay, because obviously anything has to go through the Senate, okay? And Kevin McCarthy is going to be a puppet for Mitch McConnell when he's running the House. As much as he's trying to say he's not, we all know they have no backbone in the House. There's a few that do, okay, but the majority of them, no. They're just like, hey, how do I cash my paycheck? And what inside information do I have that I can go enrich my life? Screw my constituents, right? And I think you'd all agree with me on that one. So we need to take a lesson from, let's say, Florida, for example, or let's say South Dakota, for example. South Dakota, we're not participating in any lockdowns. We're not participating in any mandates. And life went on as normal because they dared the federal government to come in and say, you're going to do this. And Kristi Noem and the rest of the South Dakotans said, no, come enforce it. We dare you. Okay. Florida kind of said the same thing. Even Georgia did a little bit too. And they wound up recovering a hell of a lot faster than the rest of the country, like, New York, well, let's just send a bunch of people to die. We'll put them in nursing homes where they can all die. Okay, that was, the idea. Lockdowns, look how well lockdowns worked in China. They didn't, okay? The country is still facing a COVID epidemic. The rest of the world, not really. Okay, sure, is it still out there? Yeah, it's a virus, okay? It's never going away. It's like the cold, okay, or the flu. It's gonna stick around, period. But we can't lock down the world for the rest of the history, or the rest of the future, I guess. So we need to stand up and do what we can to stick it to the man, I guess, if you will, all right? No, I'm not some flower child from the 60s or something like that, but we can learn a little bit from even those we disagree with about what's effective. I bet there were a lot of people in the 60s that disagreed with the Civil Rights Act, okay? And as they got older, they realized, hey, you know what? I was wrong. Admitting you're wrong is a good way to learn in life. None of us have all the answers. I don't care if you're 102. There's still things that you get wrong in life. There's still things you can learn. Right? You have more experience than most other people, but every decision you make isn't right. Okay, none of us can walk on water. None of us died on a cross for everybody's sins. Okay, none of us are perfect. So it's up to us, the people of whatever country you are in, to stand up in a group and say, no, I'm sorry, and challenge them to do something about it. They can't. It's as simple as that. I've said this many times. You want to enforce some idiotic law, everybody must wear blue jeans on Tuesday. No, if I decide I'm going to wear sweatpants, I'm going to wear sweatpants. If everybody in my town decides we're going to wear sweatpants on Tuesday, good, come enforce it. You're not going to be able to. And this kind of goes to what I've said about a lot of things. If we are obedient to whatever idiocy that our selected officials make, then we have become slaves to them. We don't have to accept it. Americans have a rebellious streak in them. All of us. We're not nearly as complacent as people in most of the rest of the world are. We'll say, hell no, this ain't going to happen. It's time we start exercising that rather than just talking about it. That's a prep. To change something to the way it should be, to leave me the F alone, I'm going to do whatever the hell I damn well please. That's called independence. That's called liberty. What they're trying with this massive, you'll do whatever we say and like it, that's called slavery. And last time I checked, we outlawed that in the United States around 160 years ago. Pinball